Hi, this is Zupa Productions, and today I'm going to demonstrate how I draw Choco. Okay, well, to start off, Choco was probably one of the most unique looking dogs I think I've ever seen. Really. In the books, he's described as... Ugh. What'd I do there? Oh, he's portrayed as the guy with the personality of a late night talk show host. He has a pretty good personality. I will say, in real life, his personality was not that good. He was aggressive. He was dog aggressive. And who was he? Well, he wasn't one of my dogs, but he did stay with me for about 3 weeks once. He wasn't a stray. He was very good at faking being a stray. Like I said, in the books, he's... I didn't say this. In the books, he's referred to as the King of Lost Collars. He didn't have any identification when we found him. Or when he just showed up. Let me... Yeah. Yeah, he just showed up here one day. And, you know, for a long time I didn't think he had a family, but he did. And I'll tell you that story. That was funny. He was, so after he had stayed with us 3 weeks, he ended up just disappearing, and we thought, well, he either found a home, or somebody else took him in, or, you know, maybe he had came from a long way away, or, you know, maybe somebody had just moved and he had gotten lost, something like that. Well, one day, around a month later, we were taking a drive through the neighborhood, and at this little tiny house, we see this huge dog on the porch, and I'm like, I know that dog. And he looked at us like, I know those humans. And honestly, yeah, that was where he lived. And that's the only time I saw him outside of the time he spent up here. After that, I think the people who owned him moved, and I think he moved with them, so, oh well. But in the books, he sticks around. There's no moving, because, I don't know, like I said, he was a really unique dog. He was a unique character. Even though, at the time, he was kind of a nuisance. He had the loudest bark ever. I mean, it was like Lassie on a loudspeaker. Ugh. And you'd be sleeping, all of a sudden 3 a.m. in your ear. Oh my gosh. Except it'd be outside, underneath your window, and you'd be like, oh Lord, Jesus coming back, you know. No, but but you would think something was wrong until you realized, oh, it's just him again. Oh God, and then you'd crawl back into bed and pray he stopped barking soon. But yeah, it's hinted to in the books as to how much of a nuisance Choco can be. He's actually a lot better in the books. In the books, he's not really dog aggressive. In fact, he's like I said, he has the personality of a late night talk show host. He is a sweet guy in the books. Has a crush on Queenie, and I will say this, he did have a thing for the ladies. He preferred the ladies, but yeah. Oh, and also, the books, there's a grain of truth to one part of the books about him, besides him being a real dog. He did get his name from a human yelling at him. It was my mom that named him. Well, one night she had had enough of barking, and she went out. She said, "Get out from here, Choco!" And he just kind of looked at her like, you know, because he had that sort of personality. He wasn't really, I'm not going to say he wasn't really all there, because he was. It was just, he was kind of a dumb dog. And he was actually really tall and really gangly. He was the biggest dog at that point in my life I had ever seen. Like, literally. One time I was sitting outside, and he came up to me. I didn't expect it. And you know, when you're sitting, okay, when you're in a sitting position, you're like 3.5 feet tall. Well, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't expecting it. I was bending down, tying my shoes. All of a sudden, I look up, eye level. I'm in a sitting position. Eye level. That dog is looking at me like, hey. It's like, oh crap, I'm gonna get eaten. But he didn't. He actually had a really good personality towards humans. I think he was more of a human dog than a dog's dog. What is wrong with that leg? Sometimes, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna let that one stay, because I know it looks bad, but that's all I can do right now. Okay. Hang on a minute, guys. Okay. Now see, Choco was red. He was like red clay red. And he had this little palm tree shaped mark on his chest, but I don't indicate it here because you couldn't really see it when he was standing up like this. You couldn't see it from the side, and you could only see it when he was sitting down. And since I don't really draw him sitting down, or at least, I haven't recently. I haven't really drawn him sitting down. Maybe one of these days I will. But yeah, he was a deep red color. Well, not really a deep. It was more of a, like I said, it was more of a red clay color, like an earth color. And he looked like, if you were gonna, well, if you're really gonna split hairs here, he looked like a Carolina dog, an Australian Kelpie mixed. Also, another thing that's true in the books about him, he didn't like cats. I can count the number of times. There were numbers of times when he had cats up in a tree. I don't think he ever harmed one. I think he just chased them. I think he just liked to see them run. But, that's true with any herding breed. They like to give chase to stuff. Think about it. They like to give chase. And that was true of him. He liked to chase things. Then there was one time, you see, he got territorial pretty easily. There was this one time I saw him in a fight, and there was this chow that had come in the yard, and this was during the time he stayed up here. And the chow came in the yard, and he tore it up. And that was terrifying. I mean, he was one of those dogs, if you... that was my phone. if you see it in a fight, yeah, he took care of business. He was he was brutal in a fight when he had to be, but you know, that's also true of him in the book. He, you know, when he had to, he took on Morris. And, oh my gosh, call spoiler alert. Yeah, well, if you've read it, you'll know. And I'm sorry guys, but any spoilers that I may give about stories, sorry, I'm just not one of those people that is ever spoiled by anything. I can read whole plot summaries online and not be affected when I see the movie or read the book or anything. In fact, that's what I do. I go and spoil myself and then I go read it or see it because I know that it's gonna look different to me no matter what somebody says. It's gonna look different to me, or it's all gonna be a surprise to me. I don't know. I guess that's one of my talents. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, Choco was terrifyingly brutal in a fight. Little did I know, however, that the chow that came in the yard had growled at my mom, so that may have been one reason. Yeah, it growled at her for no reason. So that may have been some of the reason that Choco did what he did. Maybe he was trying to be a hero. And one attribute that he had that made him unique, and I've never really seen this on other dogs, was that he had crossed eyes. Crossed eyes, yeah. And he would look at you, and it was funny. It was just one of those things, you know, you're thinking, what was Mother Nature thinking there? Yeah. I had momentum to this video until I paused, and then I didn't anymore. Wow. I'm sorry. It suddenly became boring. There's not really that much to say because he wasn't really in my life for that long. I only saw him technically twice. Well, I'm counting the whole 3 weeks as one time. But you know, when you just spend that little time with an animal, it's not that they don't have an impact on you, because he obviously did. It's just that you don't really have that much to say about them. Because you don't know all of their personality. And I didn't know all of his personality. You know, because I didn't own him, and I didn't even know the people who did. So. There's a pink tongue. But I mean, he had enough of an impact to make his way into the series. And he's been there since the beginning. Although we'll say in the beginning he was almost a villain in the beginning, but then I decided, you know, he wasn't really that bad. Because he was never mean to me, and I will say this, he did beat up Bonnie a couple of times, but that was over food. And in my experience, most dogs do that. I mean, that's just something that happens. I mean, he didn't hurt her. She got right back up, but I get my revenge in the book. She gets to throw him around, so. And you know, I really don't care if it defies logic. He beat up my doggy, so. Oh. You know, I hate it when I go around the lines and I accidentally remove the color. That just sucks. Okay. Okay. And that's Choco. Thanks for viewing.